Hi everyone, I'm just doing a really quick video because I've just had an MRI scan at the Norfolk and Norwich University Hospital in Norwich, and I just want to reassure people that it's really not as scary as you think it's going to be. I was petrified before I went in. I suffer from anxiety and I get very scared and I completely overthink everything, and I think something really bad's going to happen to me. I get quite claustrophobic. I start to panic. I basically think of all the worst possible scenarios. It's going into the unknown, and that to me is just really bad. And I immediately think something incredibly awful is going to happen. I don't know why, it's just irrational thoughts. I guess it's if you haven't had something like that done before, you don't know kind of the procedures or what's going to happen. But it's really nothing to worry about. Yeah, it's not the most pleasant thing you could be doing. It's not like comfortable, but it's not painful at all. You don't really feel it at all. It's weird. Like, it's hard to explain. I was kind of more anxious about like, what do I wear? Where do I put my things? I know it sounds ridiculous. Like, I was just more worried about kind of, should I wear tights and a dress so I can keep my tights on? Because I know some places make you change into a gown. Would I have a locker to put my things? And I had to take my piercing out because I have my tongue pierced. So yeah, I had to take that out. And they run through a questionnaire with you to ensure that you don't have any piercings left in, if you have like a pacemaker, if you've had recent surgery or an operation where anything like stitches or staples would be left inside you, because it's the MRI scanner is basically like a giant magnet that takes the imaging, so the camera. So with my medical condition, I actually needed a brain scan, so a head scan. The letter said that it would take roughly half an hour. So we arrived for my appointment, which was at 8:30 this morning, and we arrived there around about 8 o'clock, and it advises you to get there sort of 20 minutes early. So we checked in about 8:05 at the reception, and then I was whisked away by a lovely lady, and she went through the questionnaire with me just to double check everything. I left my belongings with my lovely mum who came with me, and then she just sat me down. She's like, right, okay, well, if you haven't had this done before, it's nothing to worry about. I will just reassure you that the worst thing is the noise. It's going to be really loud and it's going to be fine. You're just going to hear jackhammering sort of noises. If you're into like techno music and electronic music, it can be similar sounds to that. I was like, yeah, okay, gonna have a slight rave going on in there, I don't know. So that was slightly reassuring that she said that the worst thing is the noise. So I thought, okay. And then when we went through to the scanner, she just said, right, okay, you're going to have like a cage, like helmet over your face because you're having a brain scan. So she laid me on the table and she says, we can try you in it, and if you don't like it, you can come out. How does that sound? So I said, yeah, that's fine. Let's go for it. Let's give it a go. So she laid me on the table and I didn't even have to get changed into a gown. It was bizarre. I thought I might have to take my bra off because of the metal in there, but it was fine. It's fine. She wasn't concerned about that at all. Had to take my glasses off, obviously. But yeah, I lay down on the table. She then popped the little cage thing over my head. She also gave me some of those like squishy earplug things that you put inside of your ears to drown out some of the sound. I had been watching some YouTube videos where other people have been given headphones to listen to music. For some reason that wasn't an option. I'd have quite liked to have listened to some music to distract me from my own thoughts while in there. because obviously I was a bit scared. That would have been my preference, but obviously that wasn't available, so I had to just go with it. So I put those in my ears, and then they put the cage on top of my head, and then they sort of lifted the bench up sort of towards level with the entrance to the machine, and then they slid the table inside the machine, and that was when I realised that I was going inside the machine, inside the tunnel, and because you've got the cage like on top of your face, you can't really sort of tell if it makes sense. Does it make sense? You can't really tell how close your face is to the ceiling, to like the roof of the inner of the tube, if that makes sense. Sorry, I'm probably muddling up my words here. Brain fog is kicking in. It's like I couldn't tell basically what was the top of the cage to the top of the roof of the scanner. That's what I'm trying to say. So yeah, and also because I was a bit anxious, she put like a mirror insert so that I could just look up and see that see into their office, which was really good. So it was really reassuring to see that I could see them in their office, like just watching me have the scan, and that I wasn't in there alone, and that if any time I needed them, they gave me this little buzzer to press in my hand. So if I needed somebody, or if I wanted to stop at any time, I could just squeeze this button thing and they would come and get me out. It was fine. So yeah, when the scan started, my elbows were touching the side and I was a bit concerned about that, but they said it was fine, not a problem. And the noises start like kind of like a chirping sound, and then they get quite noisy and quite aggressive sounding. Not like unbearable, but uncomfortably loud, I'd say. Kind of like a Skrillex gig. Not that I've been to one, but what I imagine one might be like, I suppose. Yeah, just kind of really weird noises. They weren't like super bad. They were just very loud. Obviously they were muffled because I had those squashy earplug things in. So I can imagine they'd have been pretty horrendous without them. But overall, I'd say it wasn't too bad. There were points when like the temples on my head started vibrating from when the machine really started getting going. But the scanner didn't like move, it didn't turn or twist or anything, and I wasn't turning or twisting. Like, you don't physically move other than like slight vibrations. But that was when it was like really making a lot of noise, and I think it was the noise more than anything that was making the vibrations. So that was pretty much it. I can't actually tell how long I was in there for because I have no concept of time or anything while I was in there, and I just forgot to check my phone before I went in and when I went out, so I'm not really sure how long I was in there for. I think it was only like 20-25 minutes, something like that, and I didn't have to have the dye contrast, which some people have to show up like the detailed, I think it's like veins and stuff, and I don't know the proper word for it, sorry. They basically get a clearer picture of what's going on inside your body with like a dye contrast that shows in your blood. So that's very clever that they can do that. I had a CT scan with one of those before with my condition when I was in hospital, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, I didn't have to have that this time, so that was nice. But yeah, overall, I'd say it's not worth getting yourself worked up about. I know anxiety can be such a bitch. Like, such a bitch. A proper bitch. This morning I had a cry before I left. I lost my shit completely because I couldn't find my tights, and then I just broke down. I was just like, I'm really scared about this. Like, no amount of watching YouTube videos can prepare you for what you have to do when you have an MRI scan. And, you know, at the age of 26, you know, you think, wow, I really shouldn't be having to do all this stuff when I'm 26. But things happen and you have to get on with it. But, yeah, it's just one of those things. And you have to have it done because, you know, I had to have it done because of my medical condition, and I have to have it monitored. And if I don't, then something sinister might be happening. And obviously, they want to keep on top of that. So, hopefully, all being well, I'll get a letter from my consultant saying that I won't need any further ones, or everything is a-okay. But I just wanted to come on here and just tell people that it's really fine. Honestly, I'm the biggest scaredy cat that there ever is and ever was. So if I'm saying it's okay, then trust me, you'll be fine. It's really, really nothing to worry about. It's just, you'll be in and you'll be out, and you'll just be like, you'll look back at it and laugh and think, why was I ever so worked up about that? And why was I ever so scared about that? It's fine, honestly. Like, it's not the most pleasant thing you'll ever do, but it's just fine. You'll be fine. If you're just watching this video because you're unsure about it, you know, you're in the best place. These people do these scans like hundreds and hundreds of times a week, and they know what they're doing, and they're there to reassure you. If you're feeling anxious, tell them. If you're feeling slightly, you know, claustrophobic, tell them. Because there's things they can do to make you feel more comfortable. So, yeah, speaking as somebody who suffers from a lot of anxiety, I'd say make them aware of it and see if there is anything they can do for you. But, yeah, it's really not as bad as I was thinking it was, and I'm glad it's over, so I can stop worrying and stop being a wuss and stop crying because I can't find things. So yeah, peace out.